Once upon a time there was a young man who had no relatives in the world. Because he grew up among strangers, people did not know his name. That and number 39. Why people just call him Orphan. Living alone in the world is sad, and when people are poor, it and number 39. Even sadder. Therefore, Mo Koi and #39. Life was very sad, and to make a living every day he went to the river to fish and sell it at the neighboring village market. One day, while fishing as usual, he cast his net from morning to afternoon without catching a single fish. It could be said that the river was bewitched. It was starting to get dark, but because Mo Ori didn't and #39 want to go empty-handed, he threw the net one last time. When he pulled the net up, he saw a tiny iridescent fish struggling. "What are you doing? You are as small and weak as me," Mo Koi said, and released the iridescent fish back into the water. He happily married again, and when he pulled it out, there was still a tiny iridescent fish alone in the net. "Poor baby, no one will buy you at the market." Ori dropped it back into the water. He decided to try his luck one last time, and when he pulled the net up, there was still a tiny iridescent fish struggling in the net. "Very well, perhaps fate wants you to come and live with me," Mo Koi said, and brought the tiny iridescent fish back and put it in a basin of water. Since the day she brought the 5-colored fish home, Mo Koi no longer feels lonely. When he saw the fish jumping happily in the cool water, he felt lighter. But from that day on, many strange things happened in his house. When he came home from fishing, everything in the house was neat and clean, and there was a tray of hot, delicious rice on the table. Ori searched his brain to find out who cared for him like that, because he had no one close to him in the world. I want to clarify this. The next day, he pretended to go to the river as usual, but he gingerly turned around and looked into the house through a crack. What he saw shocked him. From the basin, the fish jumped so hard that the water splashed, and from the tiny drops of water, he saw a very beautiful young woman appear. She rolled up her sleeves and got to work immediately. Her nimble hands just moved gently, as if 1,000 hands were working together. Brooms ran on the ground. Beds and pillows were neatly arranged. Dishes were washed and put back in order, and before at the count of 5, rice was served on the table. Orphan did not wait any longer. He rushed in and knelt down in front of the beauty, begging, "Please stay with me? Dawn and number 39. Leave me alone anymore. Please be my wife. Okay? If you want, I will stay with you," she answered and gave him her hand. Orphan was so happy that he could and #39 say a word. But pushing such a beauty into poverty made him extremely depressed. Dawn and number 39 worry about it. "Build a pig pen," his wife said. "What is a pig pen for? As far as I know, we Dawn and number 39 have any pigs?" Ori commented. Dawn and number 39 acts, "Just do as I say," his wife tried to say. Mo Koi did as he was told, and when the pig barn was finished, his wife said, "Now build a cow barn." "Cow barn?" Mo Koi was surprised. "But we Dawn and number 39 have cows." Dawn and number 39 acts, "Just do as I say," his wife repeated. Ori listened and built a cow barn. When he finished this, his wife said, "Now I only have to build a chicken coop." This time, Mo Koi said nothing and quietly put away the chicken coop. When he finished, his wife forced herself out the door and clapped 3 times. When she clapped her hands a third time, people heard pigs grunting, cows bellowing, and chickens clucking in their cages. From then on, Mo Koi lived happily and prosperously with his wife. But good things never last long. That proved to be very true for Mo Koi and his wife. In the village there was a well-off farmer whose youngest daughter Mo Koi had previously asked to be his wife. But he was bold in the wrong place. Not only did he chase him out the door while mocking him, but he also chased an evil dog to bite him. And now, when he saw that Ori was well off, the farmer came to find him and said without any secret, "I am number 39. Am surprised that a guy like you would marry a fish." The whole village wondered what was wrong with him. "Why Don and number 39? You marry a decent girl? Is my youngest daughter suitable for you?" But the farmer is right, I didn't and #39. Think about this, Mo Koi said to herself. Of course a man does not marry a fish. And he went looking for the fish wife. His face darkened. "What a number 39's going on?" she asks. "Why do you look at me like that?" "Fish live with fish, not with people," Mo Koi replied gruffly. "Take her things and return to her original place." Alas, Don and number 39 say that. His wife sighed and took a few steps back. "People mocked me for marrying a fish instead of having a wife, and her body was covered in scales instead of wearing wool or cotton. Wherever she is, she will return." Ori interrupted decisively. "Stop talking. Don and number 39 say any more," his wife begged and sobbed. And she left the house and ran towards the riverbank. "Run, go back wherever you are." Mo Koi chuckled. But he still heard her say back, her voice full of bitterness, "You will regret it, but it will be too late." People heard and quat, poof, and quat, and his wife disappeared into the water. Mo Koi turned around to enter the house, but he was startled and stopped immediately. Pigs, cows, and chickens went straight to the riverbank. "Hey, where are they going?" He tried to catch them, at least one chicken, but could and #39 They fly the same way, wherever they go, they return there. The voice from the river said, and before Mo Koi regained her senses, all the pigs, cows, and chickens jumped into the river and disappeared. We Don and number 39 need them now." Mo Koi shrugged. "The farmer will marry his youngest daughter to me. I won and number 39 have much trouble." When Mo Koi met the farm owner to propose, he asks, "Okay, I and number 39 am willing to marry my youngest daughter to you, but first tell me, how many pigs, cows, chickens and ducks do you have?" He was forced to confess the truth. "Do you imagine that I would let my youngest daughter, the one I love most, live in such misery, when you Don and number 39 have a single chicken in the coop? You have too many illusions, baby." The farmer angrily shouted and chased the insolent person out of the house. Orphan returned home. Suddenly he was so sad and lonely. He felt unbearably sad. He left the house and went to the river bank. He sat on a rock, his head in his hands, and he cried. A dog passed by and stopped next to him. "Why are you crying?" The dog asks. "How can I not cry? My wife left, now I miss her very much." Mo Koi explained. The dog replied, "You shouldn't and #39 T have chased your wife away and the dog left. A tit sparrow flew by and landed on his shoulder. It chirps, "Why are you crying?" "How can I not cry? My wife has left, now I mourn her bitterly," Mo Ori answered in tears. "You shouldn't and #39. T chase her away," the bird declared. And flew away. A frog jumped to him. "Why are you crying?" He asked in a pitiful tone. "My wife left, leaving me so lonely, I mourn her bitterly," he said. "I chased her away, and now I regret it." The frog said, "But I will help you. Please bring me 2 pounds of flour. I and number 39 am ready to bring as much flour as you want," Ori said happily. He quickly ran home and brought the flour as the frog requested. "In a little while you will see your beloved wife," said the frog. "But pay attention to what I say. The main thing is not to laugh, otherwise everything will be ruined." Then the frog started eating the dough. After eating all the flour, it was so thirsty that it went down to the river and started drinking. It drank and drank and drank until the river water dropped a lot. Mo Koi was very surprised to see the riverbed drying up so quickly. When the frog took the last sip of water, Mo Koi saw his wife at the bottom of the river. She was spinning so hard that the reel was spinning so madly that the wind lifted her skirt. "She can and number 39 T sit idle for a moment," Mo Koi thought. He found it so funny that he burst out laughing. Seeing that the frog could N and #39 T control himself and burst out laughing. Oh, so terrible. It vomited all the water it drank. The water rushed and flowed and, before there was time to count to 5, the river was full again. "I told you not to laugh." The frog blamed him. "Why Don and number 39 T you jump down and hug your wife home?" Don and number 39 T be angry, frog, and try to drink the river dry again. "I beg you." Orphan begged. The frog agreed and Mo Ori brought him the powder again. As soon as he finished eating all the flour, the frog was so thirsty that he drank all the river water in one gulp, still diligently spinning silk. This time, Mo Koi did not hesitate for a minute. He ran to hug his wife and begged, "Come back to me. I will never leave you again. We will be together forever. First of all, I must ask if I am willing to let my only daughter follow you." A majestic voice behind the orphan declared. He was speechless when he turned around. The Dragon King stood tall before him. Only then did he learn that his wife was the daughter of the Dragon King who ruled over the water world. "She is a princess. I will fix a few things for you. If you fulfill my wishes and if you defeat me, I will give you my son in marriage. But if you fail, then wait." The Dragon King spoke threateningly. He thought for a while about what to do with the young man, then finally announced, "Do you see that forest there? On the first day, he will cut down and uproot all the trees. On the second day, he had to pick up all the roots, clear the wood and plow the land. On the third day, he had to sow the entire field. If you can and number 39 T do it, you and number 39 LL be miserable." Orphan sadly, "I could never do such a job." Don and number 39 T complain, "It and number 39 's not worth it," his wife said. "Please cut down 2 trees on each side and engrave my symbol on their roots." While working, Don and number 39 T think about anyone else but me. The next day, Mo Koi went to the forest very early, and cut down a tree first. It is hard, difficult work. The wooden body is as hard as rock, causing sparks to erupt from the hammer blade. Orphan dozen and hash 39. Think about anything except his wife. At noon, he cut down 2 trees and carved his wife and number 39's symbol on the roots. On the other side, the work is even harder. In the afternoon, when he cut down 2 more trees and carved his wife and number 39's symbol on the roots, suddenly the whole forest creaked, the trees fell and all the tree stumps popped up on their own. As soon as Mo Koi calmed down, she was standing in front of him. He himself was surprised. He looked at all the downed trees, said nothing, and finally just whispered through his teeth, "Tomorrow you have to clean up all these trees and plow the land." Extremely worried, Mo Koi went to ask the Dragon Princess for advice. "It and number 39's not that difficult," she said, smiling. "Tomorrow I and number 39's bring this big stick to trap a tree trunk on each side. Then use this spade to draw your symbol on the ground in the middle of the forest. While working, Don and number 39's think about anyone else but me." The next day, just at dawn, Mo Koi went to the forest. He used a big stick to roll a tree trunk out of the forest. But this work is very difficult. The tree trunk is as heavy as lead. The sun was already high when Mo Koi, sweating profusely, rolled out of the forest of second tree trunks on the other side, and this tree was much heavier than the last one. While trying, Mo Koi only thought about his wife, the princess. Then he took the spade and drew the princess and number 39's symbol on the ground in the middle of the forest while swearing eternal loyalty. The princess and number 39's symbol had just been carved into the ground when a miracle happened. All the tree trunks rolled out of the forest into one pile, and all the roots into another pile. And the land itself is plowed. Mo Koi looked at the lovely field, admired and thanked his wife for her help. At that time, the Dragon King arrived. He rolled his eyes fiercely and said harshly, "I must admit that you are skillful, but Don and number 39's forget that tomorrow you have to sow 2 handfuls of rice in this field and watch out if any rice seeds do not sprout by tomorrow afternoon." And 9. Mo Koi sadly went to see his wife. "How could I sow such a large field with just 2 handfuls of rice? And what about making all the rice seeds sprout and ripen before dark?" He lamented. "Stop whining and hanging your head down." The Dragon Princess said, "It and number 39's easy. Sow a handful of rice on one side and draw my symbol while sowing. Do the same on the other side with the second handful of rice." While working, Don and number 39's think about anyone else but me. Early the next morning, Mo Koi went to the fields. When he was about to sow the seeds, a strong wind arose, causing the rice seeds to scatter. Then the rain swept them away. So Mo Koi knelt down and planted each seed into the symbol of the Dragon Princess on each side of the field. While working, he doesn't and hash 39's think about anyone else but his wife. It was getting dark and he planted the last grain of rice in the ground when, miraculously, the wind died down, the rain stopped, the rice grains moved on their own, planted across the field in neat rows, and began to sprout, grow, blossom and ripen before his surprised and admiring eyes. The Dragon King arrived just when the rice was ripe. Seeing the work he had done, he could not say a word because he was so surprised. Mo Koi bowed his head and asked his daughter to be his wife. "Wait. Wait. The Dragon King still makes things difficult. You are just a mortal, you cannot conquer my daughter so easily." He thought to find another way to challenge, and he said, "Sowing a rice field is not good at anything. But from now until tomorrow morning you must harvest all this rice and bag it carefully. If I lose even one grain, I and number 39, LL be sorry." Orphan cried when he came to inform his wife, "No one can do such a job, not even a god." "Do not cry. The job is really complicated, but if you are determined and Don and number 39, think about anyone else but me, you can do it." The princess said and gave him 4 empty sacks. "Place a bag in each corner of the field, then cut rice flowers to arrange your symbol on each bag." Mo Koi took the bag and went to the field. He had just taken the rice and arranged it to form the symbol of the Dragon Princess on the first bag when clouds covered the sky, blocking out the moonlight. It suddenly became so dark that he could N and #39 see anything one step ahead of him. He had to grope around to complete the work, but in his mind there was only one thought, which was the Dragon Princess, his wife. When he finished arranging the princess and number 39's emblem on the 4th bag, something strange and extraordinary happened. The clouds withdrew, and in the pink light of dawn, Mo Koi saw the rice being harvested and filled the bag herself. But, alas! Missing 2 grains of rice. Those 2 grains of rice were in the gourd of 2 golden pheasants perched on a tree branch over there. The Dragon King said, laughing hysterically, "But if you want, I will lend you a bow and an arrow. Shoot them down." And quat, "How can I shoot 2 pheasants with just 1 arrow?" And quat, Mo Koi told himself. He wondered what the Dragon Princess would advise him to do. His wife and number 39's voice whispered in his ear, "Split it in 2 with an arrow." Orphan did so. He aimed carefully and shot down 2 birds. And sure enough, he found 2 grains of rice, 1 grain in each gourd. "You please me," said the Dragon King, "and I hear that you are worthy to be accepted into our family. However, I must make you finish one more thing, and that is the last one. You must go to the monkey world. If you bring back the monkeys and number 39's drum, I promise you will have my daughter as your wife. But if you fail, then wait. Alas, what should I do?" Bringing the monkey and number 39's drum back to her father, she must go find the monkey country. Orphan told the princess miserably. Of course this is not easy. The princess thought for a long time and said, "You just go to the monkey country. As soon as you get there, the monkeys will ask you what your name is. Don and number 39's say anything until they ask if your name is and quat, monkey and quat. At that time, you should signal that it is right. This is a cup with a small hole in the bottom. Don and number 39's use any other container to drink alcohol. Now just go and always think of me." Orphan goes to Monkeyland. As soon as he arrived, the monkeys flocked around him. "Is your name and quat, human and quat?" The monkeys asked, but Mo Koi shook her head, signaling that it was not. "Maybe your name and quat, fish and quat?" The monkeys asked, and Mo Koi also signaled that it was not. So is your name and quat, monkey and quat. The smallest monkey squeaked. Hearing that question, Mo Koi signaled yes. The monkeys danced happily, beat drums and prepared a party for the guests. They rolled up several barrels of wine, often filling his cups, but they themselves drank straight from the barrel. Orphan and number 39's cup is always empty. The bowl ran dry due to the hole in the bottom, and it was difficult for the monkeys to keep the bowl full. After a while the monkeys began to stagger, their legs buckled, they fell on top of each other. They were drunk, lying around, without any strength left. Mo Koi waited for the last monkey to fall asleep and then crept closer to the pedestal that held the drum. He took the drum and immediately ran away. He ran out of breath, brought the drum and placed it at the Dragon King and number 39's feet. The Dragon King laughed and said, "Now let and number 39's see who can beat the drum the strongest." Then the Dragon King took his drumstick and beat it so hard that the ground shook. "Stop, Dad, stop," Ori said. "Father, it breaks our ears. Father, will you let me try?" The Dragon King gave him the drumstick and Mo Koi began to beat it so hard that the mountain shook, the water boiled and the whole world shuddered. "Okay, is that enough?" The Dragon King roared loudly in deaf ears. "You and number 39's making me deaf." And he added, when he saw that he still wanted to fight, "Leave it there. Take my daughter away if you want and now leave me alone. But I warn you, be kind to it." Having finished speaking, the Dragon King jumped into the water so quickly that a whirlpool formed where he had just disappeared. Orphan holds the Dragon Princess and number 39's hand. They smiled happily. Since then, they have lived in harmony and passionate love. And since that happened a long time ago, surely since then they and number 39's they had enough time to raise many children, both humans and dragons. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.